Hello there, one and all, and thank you very much for tuning in to episode 466 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, live on YouTube. As always, regardless of whether you're watching the live or you're watching the recording, you are very, very welcome. We have a few comments already. Perfumed by the Sea says, afternoon, yay for Mr. P on a Sunday. Scent of the day is Shangri-La by Hiram Green. Gorgeous fragrance. I know that I know it, and I know that I agree that I think it's really, really beautiful, but I can't remember which one it is. Is that the orange blossom one? Memory fails me. Alex is here as well. Says, hello Mr. P from a wet and rainy Graz. Scent of the day is La Panthère Parfum by Cartier, a gardenia delight. That's a good one. One of many underrated Cartiers. I was thinking the other day as well about L'Envol. I feel like I need to write about it on my Substack. So many underrated Cartiers. And of course, hello to everyone, says Alex. Ralph says, really interested in these new Acqua Di Parmas. Well, you have come to the right place. Contact lens issue. CJ Jonic says, good afternoon, everyone. Very excited to hear about the new Acqua Di Parma releases. Ray says, finally made it here. Hello from Omaha, Nebraska. You are very, very welcome. And good afternoon, says Nick. Frag Chi-Town is here as well, saying hi all. Okay, you are all very, very welcome. You may have gathered from the fact that several bottles are assembled here that today we're going to be doing one of our longer without interruptions type episodes. We're going to try and without stopping at the end of each perfume review. We're going to keep going. We will try to cover probably all of these, most of these. I don't know if I'm going to do every single one of the Acqua Di Parmas, but we'll certainly talk about them as a range. Lots of comments coming through. So if you have tried any of these already, please let me know what you think of them. Keep sending thoughts and questions and comments, whether you're watching the live or you're watching the recording. Okay, I think we need to get going. What have we got? So we have got the three new Acqua Di Parmas. We've got a new kind of Davidoff. We've got a new one from Peosym, the independent Australian brand. Something new from L'Objet, and the latest entry from Ffern. We've got pre-sprayed blotters. I think because I've had a couple of initial sprays of this one, and I am not a fan, I think maybe we ought to start with this one. This is from Davidoff, and some of you may be aware of this one already. If you're thinking from the shape and the colour of the bottle that this is meant to be a kind of flanker sort of to cool water, then you wouldn't be wrong. This is something they're calling Cool Elixir. You can see from the typeface of how they've written that name that it's definitely meant to be a nod to cool water. There are so many things about this release that rub me up the wrong way. I feel like I was saying this just a few days ago when I was doing a showcase review of DM. So yeah, we may as well start with that. Where is my pre-labeled blotter? Anybody out there tried this? Alex says, I never liked cool water. Okay, well, we should do about 30 seconds of context, because cool water, a classic masculine fragrance of the, it is 80s, isn't it? Isn't it sort of like mid to late 80s? I happen to think is genius. I have got a vintage bottle in my collection because unfortunately cool water has been messed around with several times in the past. Yes, it now feels dated in the same way that maybe something like Drakkar Noir feels dated, but it's genius. It's brilliant. It's got a huge kind of dihydromercenol, which is a sort of citrusy, translucent, transparent wood material, and a massive kind of mandarin at the top. And at the time it was super distinctive and super popular, and everybody wore it, including myself, and it was like one of those best-selling masculines of all time. Really, really genius. People tried to copy it lots and lots of times, and it's kept going. It does still exist, even though I don't think it smells the same. The Davidoff license is now owned by Coty, which makes this a Coty product, and they're clearly thinking that cool water needs to be given the sort of fragrance bro woody amber treatment. I will share the press release with you folks. So, but let us have a spray. No, wrong blotter. I can't even read my own handwriting. There we go. This one says Davidoff. Maybe that is the one I should pick up. I did 2 sprays, people, because I'm good. Ooh, Monsieur Bourdon. If somehow through the grapevine news of this perfume and of this review reaches you, please be assured that we all salute you and your achievements with cool water. And we say, a collective fragrance community, sorry about this. I feel like I'm back in Elixir territory again. It's on the verge of sacrilege. So, but wait till you get the press release. Wait till you find out what this is actually purporting to be. So you get those really, really fake, unconvincing citruses. You know, like something that's been made by some third-rate AI from another universe that's vaguely, that's received some kind of third-hand vague description of what a lemon is like, and sort of goes, oh yes, this sounds about right, I will make this and give it to them and call it lemon. It is to lemon what, I don't know, now I've come up with that beginning of that sentence, and it is to lemon what Coldplay is to soulful music, shall we say. And then it moves into this kind of fake lavendery fougere type territory, which is just, I was going to say borderline offensive. It isn't borderline offensive. It is offensive, and it is too aggressive. And we need to be doing away with the idea that this is what guys should smell like. It's the kind of Donald Trump, Elon Musk posturing type ethos or aesthetic of perfume. It's the tech bros meets the frag bros, and it's so dispiriting and so depressing. Tina says spot on metaphor. Okay. There is one Coldplay song that I like, which is the one, apologies. Well, I can't say apologies to Coldplay fans now, can I? What was the one? Is it Speed of Sound or something like? I quite like that one. Rachel says Mr. P is an honorary American. Not that you'd want to these days. Oh well. Coldplay is the sound of mansplaining, says Gavin. Well, let's not get into Coldplay, because I actually find the Coldplay thing quite interesting in a way, but the shtick. Right now. Very, very brief press blurb, okay? Discover Davidoff Cool Elixir, the new aromatic oud treasure, okay? But you didn't see that one coming, did you? Oud, this is meant to contain some oud. Crafted for adventure, this noble, I mean, this is to noble what Coldplay is to noble. This noble signature scent perfectly blends oud, lavandin absolute, well done for at least not pretending that it's lavender, and rose oxide to give this fragrance its elegant profile. I mean, this is to elegant what Coldplay is to elegant. Who knew Coldplay could be such a useful source of endless metaphors? And okay, get this. This really pushed my buttons. Spray onto pulse points, including your wrists, inner elbows, biceps, and chest. Yeah, spray that cool elixir on those biceps, man, and your chest. Spray it on while you're at it. Why don't you spray some on your tries? Oh God! So spray it on your biceps for an addictive scent that lasts all day and night. I love the sort of the vomit emojis. Rachel's dying. Well, it was nice knowing you, Rachel. Alex is going biceps. Oh dear God. What about my quads? Yeah, if you want to go there, you can spray some. Thank goodness they didn't say glutes. Thank goodness they didn't say glutes. Can you imagine the gym scenarios where guys are kind of going, yeah, man, you could spray this on your glutes. sorry. Oh God. Yeah. Now, and it also gives me a verb migraine, the likes of which I have not had for a long time. Looking for adventure? Check out our new campaign video, heroing our gentleman adventurer Charles Melton diving into the ocean's depths to find his oud treasure. Is that your oud treasure, or are you just happy to see me? Oh, pardon me interrupting you, spraying the perfume on your quads. And as though that wasn't bad enough, I haven't got that, but somewhere they call this the beast mode fragrance. And look at this. Not only do they give us the picture of the guy with his oud treasure, but they also, just to spell it out, give us a picture of what is presumably the beast of beast mode lore. That video was grim, says EB. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Melton deserved better. Okay, leaning into the broverse. Yes, completely. I agree with you, Nina. Navi says, why is he diving for oud? Did nobody tell him it's in a tree? Into the recycling bin you go. Thanking the gods for this press release, says Ula. Pandering to teenage kids, says Spaced Out. Yes, probably, but why? They should be doing something different. Can you tell I feel rather strongly about this? Do I dare do the pre-sprayed blotter? Yes, of course I'm going to do the pre-sprayed blotter, just for the nerds amongst us. These were sprayed about 2 hours ago, I guess. So here is pre-sprayed Davidoff. Is A from Creed actually better, says Angeline? Well, probably. Although, you know, this is kind of trying to do that sort of slightly weird, fruity, almost pineapple-y thing at the top that A from Creed does as well. So this is pre-sprayed. Maybe we should have pre-sprayed glutes from now on. Now there would be a video that YouTube might have something to say about. Anyway, for now we will stick to blotters. Of course this is the face of a man who has just smelled far too many woody ambers. Why? I mean, it's not as though we haven't got about 58 million of these sorts of perfumes already. It just smells so cheap. It smells beyond cheap, and I bet it isn't cheap. And yes, perhaps it contains some, one drop of some kind of synthetic oud material that they dug out of the bottom of the Pacific or something. But it is crude beyond Coldplay. You can stick that on the advertising blurb. Crude beyond Coldplay. That is what I have to say about the new Davidoff. Now I feel suitably purged. Shall we move on? Jeff says, my armpit is more of a pulse point than my bicep. Top 10 bicep perfume video coming. Oh, we've got to do that, haven't we? Now, is the sound being... Because I see my little sound monitor going into the red far too often. Please do tell me if the sound seems to be getting... I'm going to turn the volume down a tiny bit, and you can tell me if it's gone a bit too quiet. Rachel says, Axe vibes, but expensive, no thanks. For those of you watching in the UK, Rachel is referring to Lynx, which is of course called Axe in many countries around the world. The sound is fine, says Oriana, thank you. Gavin says, kiss your biceps for us, babe. No, for that you would have to, you'd have to pay for the Substack post. It's the fumes affecting the microphone. Yeah, probably. Okay, let's move on. Let's do the new Peosym, because that is going to be... I haven't smelt it properly, but even if I don't particularly end up loving it, I just know that in terms of its intentions, in terms of its integrity, in terms of its independence of spirit, it is going to be the polar opposite of the Davidoff. For those of you who don't know, Peosym is a truly independent Australian brand founded a few years ago by a lady called Purvi Joshi, who did an interview here on this channel a little while ago. I've been very, very impressed with the kind of quiet, unassuming way she's released, I think, generally sort of 1 scent per year. I believe she now ships worldwide. Go on to her website. You'll be able to find it if you just search for Peosym. I think maybe to my personal tastes, her perfumes are a little bit too quiet for me to wear them, but I was really, really fond of the sandalwood one, and I don't know where, because I've been doing so many other things, my brain is a bit frazzled, but I think the sandalwood one is the one called Horn OK Please, but if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. This is called, and again I need to apologise, because you see that sound there made by the TH in the middle. As a kid growing up in the Middle East in the 80s and the 90s, I of course had many, many Indian and Pakistani friends, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to say that I still have many Indian and Pakistani friends, but they used to like correcting, and I was fine with it because I wanted to learn, they used to like correcting my pronunciation of a particular type of T sound. And we had a friend called, and I've got to say, anybody, watching who speaks like Hindi, Urdu, Arabic, Farsi, I've got to apologise, but we had a friend whose name was Mamta, but I used to be told off for the way I pronounced it. It would always be, no, it's not Mamta, it's Mamta, and I could kind of hear my friends doing something that to my ears sounded only just tiny, marginally different with the T sound. So I'd go Mamta, and they'd go, no, Mamta, and I'd go Mamta, and so I think the Mithai is the same kind of sound, but I don't know. But I do know that it refers to Indian sweets, which I love. So where's Blotter? This is the Noonie sketch from SNL, says Gavin. I don't know that one. Well, I was a living SNL sketch then. And if any of my friends end up watching this, they will know that I am not kidding, okay? I wonder whatever happened to Mamta. I'm not in touch with her, actually. She probably just descended into a fit of despair because she had a friend who couldn't pronounce her name properly. And I should have been able to pronounce it properly because I'm half Iranian, and so my kind of minimal knowledge of Farsi should have been enough, but I guess I never knew that we had the two different ter sounds in Farsi as well. Anyway, Mithai. See, thank goodness. Okay, this is gentle. This is welcoming. This has got some thought that has gone into it. This has got some interesting, Moorish, compelling smelling ingredients in it. So I'm getting. Now I have to say I'm not instantly getting Indian sweets, and for me Indian sweets would be things like burfi. I got a very, very strong note of that, and I still do, from Neela Vermeer's Trai. Do you remember that one? Still, I think one of her best perfumes. Although the new one gives that one a run for its money. And it's a smell and a taste that's very, very definitely milky, but also kind of saffrony and creamy, and spicy. That's coming across. So definite kind of cardamom, rose water type thing happening. But I'm also getting quite a bit of incense, which maybe I'm not meant to. But yeah, this feels like somebody actually sat down and tried to express something genuine, something heartfelt, as opposed to the other one, which we just better not talk about anymore. It's like the rest of the range. It's gentle, unassuming, but nicely done, and it's reminding me of something. I don't know whether there's a bit of it that's reminding me of the very first Marni scent that was done by Daniela Andre. This kind of juxtaposition of the woods and the rose and the rose material, because that was a very, very, very nicely done rose as well. Okay, let us see what the brand says about it. Mithai, created in collaboration with Yogi. Now, apparently this is somebody called there's somebody on Instagram called Sleepless Scents or something like that. Mithai is a tale of gratitude and connections. The inspiration is centered around Kaju Barfi, a cashew-based Indian dessert, and the timeless ritual of sharing sweets on auspicious occasions. Picture yourself amidst a family gathering. No, thank you. hearing the clink of teacups. Oh, it's not the teacups that are clinking when we have family gatherings. The comforting hum of conversations in the background, and sharing food along with stories, joy and laughter. What we have tried to weave through this scent is the sweetness of those moments, this sense of belonging and finding the echo of your home in little things. And then there's a note from Yogi, who says, is there anything more quintessentially South Asian than our love for buttery sweets? For my family, the sweet that reigns supreme is Kaju Barfi, a diamond-shaped cashew treat that checks the boxes of being both deliciously decadent yet also not too sweet. If you've never had Indian sweets, by the way, you do really need to try them. They come in all sorts of different flavours and varieties. You know, you need to kind of point at them and say, can you please tell me what this one is, that one is. Some are covered in silver foil, some are covered in gold foil. They all tend to go really, really well with tea. It's a staple in all of our cultural celebrations, a common party favourite, birthdays and weddings, and the source of many jealous disagreements between my sister and I. Kaju Barfi has become a signifier of joyous occasions, of being showered with blessings and good fortune, and of connecting with my heritage and community as a child of the diaspora. I've been searching for years for a scent that captures the essence of Kaju Barfi, something that combines the fatty nuttiness of cashew with a more delicate, sweet and spiced profile. I'm honoured to finally bring this vision to life with Mithai. I hope you find this fragrance to be a celebration of togetherness, a reminder of the sweetness found in our most treasured relationships, and an ode to those who share our joy. And they just a few bits. And we have a perfumer. It's Alexandra Freil of Firmenich. Wonderful. Mithai opens with a fresh touch of bergamot and green cardamom, like the subtle warmth of a welcoming smile. As it unfolds further, a bouquet of soft roses is introduced, accented with black tea, cashews and sugary sweetness. Vanilla and patchouli provide a base that is gourmand but subtle, lingering softly in dry down as a creamy skin scent. Okay, and I love the fact that that description is very, very direct and prosaic. Top marks for that. Let's do the pre-sprayed. Is that the correct one? Yes. Okay, clear the old nostrils. How's this doing? Now, I will give it a go on skin. I'm not going to lie. I haven't particularly got anything nutty or cashew. I'd love cashew nuts, so you would have thought that I would just immediately get that. But I am getting rose. I'm getting something tea-like. I'm also, I think, commendably to the perfumer, not getting an overdose of musks. It's just gently playing on woods, and it's not oversweet. It doesn't turn into a vanilla bomb either, which is, I think, an interesting thing to do when you're doing something that's meant to be sweet. Definitely one to revisit. I would imagine it would create this very welcoming, enveloping, but not shouty aura around you, which I guess is what they're going for. They want it to be the scent of a welcome, the scent of a genuine greeting. And I think they've achieved that. Definitely one to revisit. Okay, thank you very much. Right, Acqua Di Parma. Acqua Di Parma have given us 3 very, very expensive new releases. They seem to lately have enjoyed doing a few limited editions. What was it, 3 years ago maybe? They did the Spugnatura version of their bergamot scent from the Blue Mediterraneo range, which I really, really liked, and I think it's a shame that it was a limited edition, although I get it, maybe some of the materials are difficult to get. I still have my bottle of that one. This is, I think these are going to be limited editions as well, because they're calling them La Riserva. So from the La Riserva range, and I think understandably they haven't kind of sub-ranged us to death, because rather than saying Acqua Di Parma, Blue Mediterraneo, La Riserva, they've just dropped the Blue Mediterraneo for the moment, from the front of the bottle and the packaging. And from the La Riserva range, they've given us their Fico di Amalfi, which already exists in the Blue Mediterraneo collection, the Mirto di Panarea, that's the myrtle scent, and the Arancia di Capri. And the thing that sets these apart is, interestingly, an extended maceration time. I wonder if we're going to be seeing more and more of this kind of thing. A few brands, as I know you are well aware, have been doing it, because they say here on the back of the bottle that this has been macerated for 8 weeks. They give the maceration temperature, and they also give the filtration temperature, which is interesting. And then there's a blurb on the back that says, a slow 2-month maceration process lends this fragrance a multifaceted character, infusing it with depth and texture that results in a full, intense and silky essence. The light is scintillating, golden and radiant, where each note harmonizes in a beautiful balance. I don't know, but hopefully we'll find out, because I'll do the press release in a minute. I don't know whether particular types of ingredients have been used in this, or whether it is just the same formula but macerated for a longer period of time. I'm very, very taken with the Arantxa. Maybe that was inevitable. I wasn't the world's biggest fan of the fig and the myrtle anyway, so I think maybe what I might do for the mirto and the fico is just do the pre-sprayed blotter. So the mirto di Panarea, actually, I think it finishes a little bit better than it starts. To me, the strength of the Blue Mediterraneo collection is when they just go all out cologne-like, but try to bring a kind of twist to the cologne. And in order to play that card successfully, I think they need to be light, they need to be effervescent, they need to be full of joy, they need to be full of exuberance. I guess that also means to a certain extent that they don't last terribly long, but that's fine. That's the price you pay in a way for a really, really good cologne. When they try to have, their cake and eat it too, to try to make something that is maybe woodier, a bit more long-lasting, I'm not sure they pull it off quite so well. And the Mirto is a case in point. I mean, I'm smelling this and I'm thinking, a woody amber thing is not particularly what I want to be smelling in a Blue Mediterraneo composition. It's got a floral facet to it, but it's just a bit too butch, I think, for something coming from a bottle like this. The fig, I know a lot of people love the fig. Fig is a hard sell. Where's the pre-sprayed fig? Karen says the Fico smells like cheap fig body wash. Pleasant, but the Arantxa is better. Alex says, I think there must be some magical, mysterious stuff so that they can charge even more money. Well, yeah, the fig, I mean, I'm feel free to disagree, and all opinions are welcome. But Karen, I wouldn't agree with you that it smells like cheap fig body wash. I think it's a few notches above that. It is a convincing fig, but I don't know what it is about it that stops me from loving it. Maybe I wish it were just a bit livelier. I think, again, because they've tried to make it last longer, they've gone for the woodier, earthier aspects of fig, and that's fine if that's what they wanted to do. But I think what it then means is that it lacks that Amalfi. So this is meant to be the fig of the Amalfi coast. It lacks that sparkle, I think. Let's spray the Arantxa so we can smell it together, as it were, and then I'll do the press release. Ralph says, a lot of people do get mixed up between maceration and maturation. I would have thought that most niche houses would macerate before. What's the usual process? Okay, very, very quickly, you first put all of the ingredients together and they're undiluted. They just mature together, so that's the maturation. And there should be a maturation process. And then when that's done, if it's the kind of perfume that you're going to dilute in alcohol, you put it in your alcohol, your solvent, and then they macerate. So it's maturation, then maceration. And each one should be for a set period of time, according to the needs of that particular perfume. Some ingredients need to mature a bit longer, macerate a bit longer, etc., etc. Anyway, here is Arantxa di Capri. And then suddenly you kind of think, yes, this is what this range should be about. It's a smile. It's a smile. It's sunshine. It's all of those Italian cliches. It's Vespers. It's Italian guys looking cool. It's Italian women looking even cooler. It's sunglasses. It's a rushed espresso with some kind of biscotti type confection. And it's ease and slowness and laziness, even though I just said rushing but you know what I mean. Even when you're kind of hurriedly having an espresso in Italy, somehow you can seem lazy doing it. And it's convincing. To me, this is the most convincing one. But let us see what the press release says. Okay, so Acqua Di Parma presents new Blue Mediterraneo La Riserva EDP compositions crafted from a 2-month maceration process. Acqua Di Parma introduces the new Blue Mediterraneo La Riserva collection, multi-nuanced compositions of enduring sillage and longevity crafted from a 2-month maceration process. A reinterpretation of the Maison's most celebrated fragrances from the Blue Mediterraneo collection. Yes, well, you killed off Chinotto di Liguria, which was beautiful. That needs to come back. The prolonged development infuses the EDPs with depth and texture, resulting in full, precious, intense, and silky essences. With a scintillating and golden light, each note harmonizes in a beautiful balance, expressing an intricate and concentrated olfactory experience. Mirto di Panarea La Riserva pays homage to the wild myrtle fruit and rugged landscape of Panarea's volcanic fields. The top notes of cedrat essence, sage, and juniper berries provide a refreshing start, followed by a heart of myrtle and lavender essences. And if you can picture that kind of sage, juniper, that sort of more aromatic, heading into more overtly masculine type territories, that is what you get from that perfume. Deepened by the warmth of myrrh absolute. The base notes including patchouli fraction, labdanum absolute, and lentiscus absolute create a lasting, earthy warmth. Fico di Amalfi La Riserva is a celebration of the Mediterranean fig, combined with the vibrant citrus notes that define the Amalfi coast. The top notes are a lively blend of Italian mandarin, blood orange, grapefruit, and lemon essences, leading to a heart of orris concentrate, fig, and lemon infusions. Interesting. The fragrance is rounded out with base notes of tonka bean absolute, ambretolide, and orchanox. And from the lush landscapes and vibrant atmosphere of Capri comes the Arancia di Capri La Riserva. The top notes of Italian blood orange, mandarin, and petit grain bigarade essence open with a fresh, zesty burst. They do. This is complemented by a heart of aromatic rosemary and Italian basil essences, accented by a salty mineral accord evoking the sea breeze of Capri. It's not overly mineralic, thank goodness. The fragrance settles into a warm base of cedarwood, ambretolide, and a rich suede accord. The new compositions are available in 3 sizes, 50 ml, 100 ml, and 180 ml, with a cap and bottle in a deeper and more intense shade of blue. Did you notice? The new premium blue hat box, enlarged in size in the same new intense blue, is complemented by a refreshed label with updated finishings. And they haven't just done the EDPs, there's also a soap and a hand and body wash. Okay, and I think each one of these bottles, although I forget the size, I think it's the 100 ml that is over £200 each, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe somebody wouldn't mind just quickly checking out the ADP website. It's Me says, I was disappointed in the cool Elixir as well. But I tried to convince myself I wasn't. I really wanted to love it. No, don't worry, you don't have to love it. Alex says, I watched this brand, become more and more expensive over the last 25 years. Some of their scents are really nice, but I think far too pricey. Fake says, hi from Malaysia. Hello, your Acqua Di Parma is one of my favourite brands. Leather Eau de Cologne Concentrate is my number 1, seconded by Oud and Spice. Gosh. And Tina says, have they dived for the oud, though? Not in this one, thank goodness. And pre-sprayed Arancia. How's the pre-sprayed Arancia doing? Yeah, exactly as it should be. It's still citrusy. The woods in the base are not overdone. There isn't a kind of massive musk bomb coming your way. Very, very quietly floral. This is what we want, I think. Although the fig, I think, does what it's trying to do well. It's the myrtle that I think kind of loses its way a little bit and just becomes a bit too shouty, I guess, and kind of misses the point. But the Arancia, top marks. CJ says, shout out to Mandorlo di Sicilia. I haven't smelt that one for a while, actually. To try and dig out my sample. Okay, at this point, I should just mention to anybody who's just tuned in that you're watching episode 466 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise. If you are enjoying the video, please do give it a thumbs up, because that is very, very helpful. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do consider doing so, and click on the little bell so that you get notifications about new videos coming your way. If you would like to find out how you can support my work, you should see a link to my Ko-fi page in the video description below, and you should also be able to find a link to my Substack. The number of posts on the Substack is growing, and we've been doing it now for about a year and a half. Okay, we have got 2 to go. Let's go to L'Objet. Now, this is an interesting brand that kind of just quietly seems to be releasing more and more scents. They are mostly, I think, about objet, very, very, very expensive objet, very expensive plates, very expensive candles. They have got under their belt now, I think, counting this one, the new one, I think they have 6 perfumes, and they've all been made by Jan Vanier. And you know, I am a massive, massive admirer of his work. He is very, very, very high on my list of perfumers that I would love to meet, have yet to meet. I had an opportunity to meet him a little while ago, but I couldn't make it because I couldn't go up to London when he was down for an event. So I hope to be able to meet him one day. He's made lots and lots of scents that I really, really love. I do very much like the one that he made for L'Objet called, I think, Oh Mon Dieu or something. I will tell you exactly what it's called when I go onto the website. And this is turning to be an interesting brand. This is called Blindfold, which kind of plays that kind of slightly kinky-esque vibe that they like to play. Very curious about L'Objet, says Angeline. I think their bottles look nice. Well, this kind of works, doesn't it? They also have a kind of lighter range where the bottles, I want to say, are blue, but perhaps I'm wrong. We will find out in a moment. But I've had an initial sniff of this one, and I don't think this is going to turn out to be one of my favourite Jan Vanier compositions. I mean, never mind, can't love them all. Let's see if it lives up to its name, says Ixabi. Shimon is here as well. Hello, cześć. Says, revisiting Lemon today. Oh, well, you've got the better Coty product, I think. You stick to that one. Yeah, this is what you get from the beginning. Is a kind of musky haze, and that, I think, deliberately is designed to make you think laundry musks, detergent musks, which makes you think bed sheets, which then makes you think Blindfold. Clearly revealing too much about myself. Obviously, bed sheets make you think of Blindfold, which then makes you think handcuffs, which then makes you think, etc., etc. You know what I mean. So that's what it's trying to do, but it's a kind of gentle segue into that, and maybe that's no bad thing. Maybe it's no bad thing that it's not kind of trying to hit you over the head with the whole Blindfold thing. There is a suggestion of something rosy. Should have called it safe word, says Karen. Yeah, but you know what? Maybe that's where we're wrong, because actually maybe it's not meant to be all, 50 Shades of Grey S&M, but maybe it's just meant to be gently playful, okay? Not in the realms of situations where you would need a safe word. And maybe that's where I misjudged it, sort of showing my prejudices. 50 Shades of Unimpressed, says PKD. No, and I'm guessing this is a leather, says CJ. You see, it's not a leather either. I think we're all kind of misreading it and prejudging it. Maybe it's not trying to be those sorts of things at all. It just comes across as a clean, rosy, soft, skin-focused musk. But also, by nature of the fact that it's kind of a clean, soapy, skin-focused musk, it's not terribly complex. Let's see what they say about it, though. So, Blindfold EDP. Smell with your eyes closed, they say. Crafted with a master perfumer Jan Vanier, Blindfold is a unisex EDP offering an intimate olfactory experience of mystery and sensuality. Yeah, see now, that's overplaying it. A musky, sensual skin fragrance indulged with tonka bean. Okay, that's where that kind of sweet almondy thing is coming. For that kind of fairly single line scent, it is well done. Is that all they say about it? Oh gosh, is that literally all they say about it? Okay, that's a shame. That is all we're going to get about it. So yes, it's just, and yeah, so I can tell you that the other bottles that I mentioned are blue. Oh, and oh mon dieu, I think is the one that I like best out of the collection so far. I have no idea what some of you are now talking about in the chat, but please try to keep it clean. Carry on. Janet says, my newest rediscovery is Dior Poison. Now that is a perfume you need a safe word for. Yes, but in the most glorious possible way. CJ says, maybe they're just going for the sleep mask you wear for a good night's slumber. Yeah, and I think that is probably it. The question with a musky scent like this is going to be, what's the pre-sprayed version like? What's it doing after a couple of hours? So Blindfold. Tomasz says, by the way, Mr. P, I wonder where you bought this zip fastener free buttonless cardigan. Oh, I'm thinking, where are we going now with zips? Buttonless cardigan of yours looks great. I'm still looking for. Oh, this is old. This was Zara. I mean, this is going back a few years now. I'm so glad that turned out to be a question about clothing. Yeah, sorry, I can't help you there, but I know cardigans that don't come right to the middle are very, very useful items of clothing sometimes, aren't they? I hope you get to find one, Tomasz. And a perfume plug LDN says, hi, big fan, and you're a big reason I started a channel. Oh, thank you very much. Good luck with your channel. So, pre-sprayed. Yeah, it is basically at the end what it was at the start. So it's an encounter that doesn't seem to have gone very far. It's still doing its musky thing. Maybe it's got a little bit woodier. But it is just very gentle. I think the Blindfold in this case, you're right. I think it is the sleep mask. I think it is the sleep mask rather than anything that Jamie Dornan and what was the other woman? Was it? It wasn't Dakota Fanning, was it? No. Who was it? I confess I haven't seen the films. I haven't read the books. Yeah. So there we go. It's definitely not. It's not 50 Shades of Grey. It's 40 Winks. Dakota Johnson. Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you. Okay, and that leaves us with the latest offering from Ffern. Now, I will not go into the details of how Ffern works, because if you search for Ffern on this channel, you will be able to find a video in which I explain how the Ffern system works. But very, very quickly, you need to sign up to their ledger. And then once you're on it and you pay, you get sent... contact lens really bugging me. You get sent seasonal scent, so... first day of summer, first day of autumn, first day of winter, first day of spring, you get a scent sent to you. And as the first day of summer is just around the corner, we have got summer 2025. They're all natural perfumes. I think they're also all organic. When you get the scent, you also get a little gift that goes with it. The last few gifts have been like a kind of seasonal inspired tea. I've said before, and I will say it again, that I think Ffern are doing... Dakota Johnson has just split up with Chris Martin. Today everything leads to Coldplay, says Natasha. I had no idea. So yes, Davidoff is to boyfriends what Coldplay is to Dakota Johnson. Who knew? Coldplay, the font of all metaphors. The Ffern perfumes are usually very beautiful, very naturalistic, what Jo Malone should be doing, but also, maybe because they're all natural, they kind of tend to veer towards sameness. Now, the brand themselves will say that they do not always try to make a brand new perfume. So, I mean, I can't remember what Summer 24 was like, but it could be that Summer 25 is completely different from Summer 24, or it's a tweak of Summer 24, or it's a revisitation of Summer 23 or whatever. So they don't kind of commit or proclaim that they're going to be making a brand new fragrance every single time. Maybe that's why some of them feel like they're kind of heading in similar directions. But they're all very, very pleasant. there is a little bit of the kind of their perfume for people who don't much like perfume type thing about them, but I think they're better than that. I think they are more interesting than that. So what's this one doing? It is summery. It's kind of appley. It's radiant. It's not one of the more striking compositions. I mean, for my money, I think they do more interesting things when it gets to autumn and winter. Maybe because you have to work harder to come up with... Maybe with spring and summer, it's easier to give into cliches. And I guess maybe this is a little bit more of a cliched summer scent. But it's kind of commendably more abstract than you might think some other summer scents might be. So it's, you know, it's not an obvious orange, or it's not an obvious, I don't know, mint. It's not an obvious lavender. It's pleasant, and I'm sure it's going to be highly wearable, maybe a touch forgettable. Is it peachy, says Xavi? No. Gavin says, does it matter if a perfume is organic or not? You're not going to drink it. No, it doesn't matter to me, but it does matter to a lot of people. What do they say about it? The setting sun leaves a blush on the sky's cheek, potters pink, vermilion, hues of ochre and magenta, and the promise of a golden day tomorrow. As the rhyme goes, red sky at night, shepherd's delight. For summer 25, we wondered if we could recreate such a sunset. Okay. Something peach-coloured. I'm not really getting a huge amount of peach, but spiced and fruity, shading to a lustrous depth and warmth. We began with the fuchsia sun, burning towards the horizon. For this we turned to the perfect orb of a blood orange, ripe with nectar sweetness. Radiating out from the sun are creamier tones where pinks and oranges meet the blue-white of the sky. So, of course, we thought of peach. Sorry. Our nose, Elodie, that's Elodie Durand, experimented with a white peach water never before used in perfumery. Interesting. Mouth-watering and velvety as only peach can be, the enriched water harmonised with red champaca, a cousin of the magnolia flower, with golden tones of honey and champagne. For the pale, shimmering watercolours that wash across the sky, we looked to the cold-pressed rind of a new pink grapefruit we found in Mexico. A new grapefruit, how interesting. A distinctive addition to our citrus library with a wonderfully clear, sparkling facet. Turning to the stronger hues close to the horizon, we lit upon turmeric, sourced specially for summer 25. Its light yellow oil has a truly unique scent profile, peppery heat matched with a green and aromatic freshness. May as well finish reading this now. We'd been floating up in the sky, but we realised we were missing the sense of the landscape. Leaning back and looking up, drying fronds of meadow grass framing the sunset. For this we turned to spices and resins for their dry heat, like baked earth. Cardamom, hay and brown-eyed rock rose, and for the first time, fruity herbaceous marigold, that sunset-coloured flower, the land turning gold before the warm summer night. Which is a beautiful description, and you know I love a prosaic, matter-of-fact press release. I wonder if it's overselling it a tiny bit, but I'll tell you what, we have pre-sprayed blotter as well. As this is the last one, and as natural ingredients, well, all ingredients are meant to be worn on skin, but natural ingredients tend to really bloom on skin. So let's do the back of the hand thing. To me, it's more about the abstract blend of it, which is something that gets a thumbs up in my book. I mean, yes, I get shades of hints of rose. I get hints of herbs, of grass. But I would be lying if I said to you that I'm picking out peach or I'm picking out cardamom. The cardamom could be coming through as a kind of coolness. It's very, very attractive, very pleasant. Maybe the kind of thing we've had from them before for summer. But let's do the pre-spray blotter. Did you grow those roses, says Gavin? No, not these ones. But we have got some beautiful roses growing in the garden. Okay, pre-sprayed. Yeah, it's just that kind of borderline generic, woody, fruity thing that a lot of Ffern perfumes seem to have in the base. But you know, if Jo Malone perfumes had this kind of dry down and this kind of naturalness, I would be a lot happier about Jo Malone. And you know, good for Ffern that they're doing this kind of thing. Nicely done. But you know, I'm looking forward to autumn already. Not really. I'm very much looking forward to the summer. Okay, I think that's your lot. Thank you very much for watching. It's Me says, I was intrigued by Ffern, but looked at reviews and most said they were all very similar and no real standouts. Oh, I think that's a bit harsh. The trouble is, though, I mean, yes, if you sign up to them and if you and if you get the perfume, there's always a little sample that you can try, and if you don't like it, you can send the perfume back, I believe. So you can do that, but it is tricky. It's not like you can walk into a shop and just smell it. I have a jasmine climber in my garden, plus a fig tree, says Carry On Janet. And Peach Revenge is nice, says Oriana. That's Sarah Baker, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to social media for info about future videos coming your way. If you have enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up. I will see you soon. Until next time, thank you very much indeed for watching. Be good. Bye now.